Oh man, the Namekians are just so fun to... Before we start, I just wanted to let you guys know that this video was inspired by Kashami's video on the same topic, so go check his out also, preferably first, before you check mine. Seeing as Xenoverse 2 isn't your typical fighting game, a lot of people could look at it and just be like, wow, these two people are really battling it out, they must be extremely skilled. And sometimes that could be the case, other times it couldn't, depends on how you see skill. Some people may only see skill as getting the win at the end, which, you know, I guess there's nothing wrong with. You know, if you do win the fight, then that means you've bested your opponent, no matter how you decided to do it, even though the way you did it was probably freaking dumb. Most likely was dumb, if this kind of debate is coming up. But that doesn't stop the fact that in most cases, the people that lose could have avoided their loss. This is a perfect example of lacking technique, which I feel like calling intelligence, because I don't know, it just makes more sense to me, which is, I guess, also smartness or whatever else you want to call it. What I feel like intelligence is basically how you handle yourself in combat, you know, decision-wise. So if somebody decides to come at you with Pearl Flash, do you decide to block it, move out of the way, perfect block it, or yeah, whatever else? To sum that all up, I'm basically saying, do you pick the best option out of all of the options you're given, you know, based on what you want to do in the situation? See, somebody could really lack in intelligence when it comes to fighting, but be very skilled in the sense of they can do pretty much anything they need to if they want to. And what I mean by doing whatever they need is, you know, step dashing behind somebody, or perfect blocking, or whatever else you would absolutely need to do that would take a lot of practice to pull off, they can do. But just because you can do that doesn't mean that you do it at the right times or you do it at all. So you pretty much need intelligence if you want to apply skill. Now, if you have a lot of natural skill and a lot of intelligence, that's great and all, you would pretty much win every fight, except for the fights against the people with a strategy and a tactic. People with strategies or tactics are the people that you see that will just sit there and grab spam. Like, they'll wait for you to come to them, which is already hard to get out of, because if you go up near them and you try to avoid the grab online, the grab will just hit you anyway, because, you know, servers are dumb. Meaning you would have to change up how you play to fit the slower pace of combat. Now, don't get me wrong, if you have enough skill and intelligence, of course you could beat somebody with just a strategy / tactic. But if somebody else has a strategy and they also have intelligence, that means they know what you're going to try to do to counteract them, and they'll counteract what you do to counteract that. And lastly, there are the people that have a lot of skill and they have a really nice strategy that people can't really get around well, but they lack intelligence, meaning you could probably bait them out of their stamina or something like that. Now, for a typical person, they usually are strong in two of these areas, but are not so great in the other, which is fine, of course, you know, everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, but that's what separates the really good people from the extraordinary people, or extraordinarily good, whatever you want to call it. Because the extraordinarily good people are great in all three of these categories, or great in two of these categories and almost pretty much perfect in the other one also. So the next time you lose or even win a fight and you don't even really know how, the best thing to do is just look back at this and think about what areas you lack in, or think about what areas you're strong in, or how that applied to your last fight, something like that. I personally feel like I kind of lack in a strategy or tactic. Like, I only really have one, and it's not really a strategy in my eyes. With skill, I feel like I excel in skill the most, and then intelligence, I'm alright in. Like, I make some pretty dumb decisions, some very dumb decisions, actually. So yeah, I feel like my strong point is just the natural, just the regular skill, the stuff you'd have to practice for. That's pretty much it for the video. So yeah, if you made it this far, go ahead and tell me where you think you land on the triangle of skill, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, just tell in the comments, actually. Yeah, I probably should have added comments below. I don't know. Goodbye.